All right, let's bring in South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. He is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask you about January 6th committee and a couple of other things, but I want to start with the threat to Brett Kavanaugh.
Right.
First of all, why can they not get this bill across the finish line? What is the deal with protecting justices and their families?
I don't know. I think in some ways they feel that they would be siding against the protesters, that they agree with the protesters and they don't want to do anything that would be seen by the hard left as a rejection of their strategy. Well, their strategy is going to lead to somebody getting killed because it's illegal to protest in front of a juror's home or a judge's home while they're trying to do their job for the obvious reason. So I'd like Garland to start putting these people in jail. You can protest all you want, but you shouldn't go to somebody's home and try to intimidate the family. And you're breeding a sense that there are no longer rules.
All right, so we can talk about press coverage and the fact that it was buried in the New York Times, and had this been a Trump supporter going after Justice Kagan, it would have been different. The president hasn't said one word about it. He was on Kimmel last night. He talked about Roe versus Wade. Take a listen. We think.
Come down the way it does, and these states impose the limitations they're talking about, it's going to cause a mini revolution. They're going to vote a lot of these folks out of office.
All right, so point being is that he talks about the Roe v. Wade decision coming down, a mini revolution, but has not acknowledged the threat that we just faced here in reality in this area.
So here's another reality. If McConnell had gone to the Supreme Court and called out two liberal justices by name because he disagreed with what they were about to do on a particular case, and somebody on the right tried to kill a liberal judge, it would be on the front page of every newspaper in the country. I couldn't walk 3 feet in the hall on Capitol Hill without somebody sticking a mic in my face. Not one reporter has asked me about, what do you think about the idea somebody may have tried to kill Judge Kavanaugh last night? The double standard in the media is appalling and dangerous, and the President of the United States is missing an opportunity here to lead the country to a better way.
Do you think one of the reasons is because it's the setup to the January 6th committee primetime event tonight? What do you make of that tonight, and what may or may not come from it?
I think they don't really care what happens so much as long as the outcome is what they want. The Vice President of the United States, Harris, raised money for rioters who beat cops in the head. They were more sympathetic to the rioter than the cops. So they're sympathetic to the protesters. They understand what the protesters are trying to do, and they just won't call them out. Somebody's going to get killed here. Mr. President, listen, take this on. You'll be better off for it. The country will be better off. Nobody should be protesting in front of a judge's house to try to change a decision.
So when you hear somebody say that this was a massive effort, January 6th and before it, to spread false information, it led to this event on Capitol Hill, it was a threat to the democracy and the peaceful transfer of power, what you said about it that day and your concerns about it, and the look back at that, they say this is crucial for us as a country to look back at it. That's how they portray it.
Sure. Well, so after 9/11, we had a commission to find out how we failed as a nation. The commission didn't start until after the next election. It wasn't an effort to blame President Bush. He actually participated in it. This is an effort before the midterms to change the subject. The people who went into that Capitol, and I was there that day, are being prosecuted. That's great. We're all trying to work better together to find a way to make sure it doesn't happen again. This hearing is not about solutions. It's about trying to blame President Trump in a fashion to change the outcome of the midterms. It's being done in a way it's never been done before. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House, his nominees to the commission were rejected by the Speaker because she didn't like them. It's partisan to the core. It will have no credibility with the public, and they're trying to change the subject, and it won't work.
But the question is going to be asked again and again to Republicans. Do you believe, like Donald Trump believes, that the 2020 election was stolen?
I accepted the 2020 election. I think there was chicanery in these states, but I wasn't convinced that there was massive fraud to overturn the election. I voted to certify the election. But we do need election reform. There's clearly some abuse of mail-in voting, but that's not what this hearing's about. This hearing's about trying to blame President Trump in a fashion to change the outcome of the midterms. if they were doing well as a party, they would be talking about their successes, not about January 6th. This is the most transparent effort I've seen since I've been in politics to change the subject from failed policies to something every American's made up their mind about.
I'll change the subject here to Monday. We have a big event in Boston.
Yeah.
You're going to do a debate with Senator Bernie Sanders, the Senate Project, bipartisan effort to kind of really get substantive discussion. What do you think about that? Why'd you agree to it?
Well, when I like Bernie, we're going to see what capitalism, socialism looks like in a debate forum. We're not going to have a food fight, but we're going to have some real serious disagreements. You know, you do an hour of news every night. We're going to have a chance to spend an hour with a Democrat and Republican talking about what are the real problems facing the nation, what's your idea, what's my idea, and can we up here in that building find some common ground? Bernie is about as far left as you can get. I think I'm a solid conservative. You may be surprised, and I might be surprised, there may be some common ground. We won't know till we talk, and what's missing in politics is a chance to sit down and talk.
Well, I'm very fortunate to be the moderator for that. Look forward to it.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you up there in Boston.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator.